Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 24 of Pocket Edition. Today I'm joined by Maximal, my regular kind of in and out co-host, and also a newcomer in Ben, or Lemmy Smash, who is currently a guest in our community. What's going on, guys? How are you?
Good. Happy to be back. Talk about some Halo.
Oh, episode
I'm
spoilers.
a fan of Halo. Oh. I apparently always see, as long as I'm here, I'm always ruining things before Sully gets to say them.
Yeah, right? Ben, how are you, dude?
Nobody look at the episode title.
Yeah.
We'll reveal it in a second. I'm doing great as well.
Fantastic.
Just a little sleepy here, but we're going to make it through this.
Yes, it is very early in the States, and it is very late here in Australia, but we are going to flub our way through this episode with style. Today, as the title suggests, and as Max ruined, we are discussing and rounding up Halo rumors and speculating on a few points as well. So today we're going to jump straight into it because this could be a hefty episode. So our first kind of group of talking points are surrounding an added year of development time for Halo 6. Now that in itself is a rumor. We don't actually know when Halo 6 is dropping. If you're to follow kind of tradition, they usually drop every 3 years, and that should mean it's dropping at the end of this year. However, we have heard nothing about it, and that is quite unusual. So the speculation is that it's dropping in 2019. So what do you think they're doing with that added year? Now, the front runners for that are, and again, this is all speculation, rumors. We're not sourcing any of these rumors. It's just off the cuff stuff that we've heard and been reading ourselves. Some of it could be completely fabricated. So take all of this with a pinch of salt. So our first rumor, I guess you could call it speculation, is VR. Could Halo 6 be landing in VR in 2019? What do you guys have to say about that? Does that excite you?
I doubt it'll happen. I also think it's coming this year. Or I think it has a high chance of coming this year.
Interesting.
But I don't think that VR is going to be touched. I think that they need to straighten out all of the normal stuff in the game first, and then they could talk about VR. But I also don't think Microsoft sees VR as like really a commercial thing just yet, which it really isn't yet anyways. If they were pushing a VR headset, unless they just throw a VR headset out.
Yeah, let's not forget they don't have a VR headset other than HoloLens. So,
and the HoloLens is AR anyways.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree with you, Max. They would be asking a lot of 343 Industries if they wanted to, one, throw in a PC release. A lot of the other shit we're going to go through as well. They have a lot on their plate if we're to believe a lot of these kind of rumors, points that are making the rounds. So I don't think VR is going to happen. One, because I think you're completely correct. Microsoft aren't banking on it, and they don't have a VR headset. Ben, what are your thoughts?
But I'm going to be devil's advocate here. If they were going to reveal a VR headset, wouldn't you think Halo would be the title to do it with?
The perfect demo? I mean, I hope so. I would love a Halo in VR. I mean, to me, there's nothing more exciting and immersive than playing as the Master Chief in VR in his helmet. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Because I think they could easily do that, not only with, I don't know if they would do a full Halo experience, they might do like a little sliver experience, but then you've also got their other studios, you could have Turn 10 do a Forza 7 sort of VR experience, and they could have a couple different things announced for that. So I know there hasn't really been anything said about it, but just maybe.
So possibly, but let's link that kind of VR or lack of VR for the Xbox platform into the next speculation and rumor. Not really. It's going to happen. Halo 6 coming to PC, so maybe the VR option is Vive or HTC if it's on the PC platform.
Yeah, if you throw it on VR, it can probably be used by most headsets then, most traditional headsets. But the thing is, I could see them doing like Resident Evil 7 maybe, where like VR isn't necessary, but it enhances the experience a little bit, where it's more just like you're viewing it from there, but there's no like actual added benefit. Like you're not actually playing quote unquote in VR, it's just the way that you're experiencing the game.
That's what I hope it would be. Yeah. I still want a controller and I want a fixed point of view in that helmet, and the only thing I want the VR to add is just peripheral, cover my peripheral. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I want out of VR too.
What do you think about Halo 6 or a new Halo title being on the PC, especially with all the demand as well surrounding Halo on PC at the moment? Are you excited? Yeah, no, it is. I don't even think that's a rumor. Like, it has to happen. It's a play, or it will be a Play Anywhere title, and a Play Anywhere title was any first-party property that Microsoft publish and release. So if they stay true to that, it has to be on PC, just like Gears of War 4 and Horizon and Forza. Has to be on PC.
And Sea of Thieves and Recore.
Sea of Thieves, absolutely. So that's exciting to me. I'm personally probably going to be playing it on PC because, one, if you give me the opportunity, I will be a pixel whore, plain and simple. That's why I'm playing it on PC. I want the best experience, and I want to play it on my ultra wide. So I'm excited.
I'm still gonna get it on Xbox just because I like playing on my Xbox.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I can't knock that. Nothing beats the comfort of the couch.
Exactly.
Well, being the guy in here who hasn't played any of the Halos extensively, I think it would be really nice, especially since, as someone who only owns a PC and doesn't have the consoles, let me get in on that Halo action too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
1 and 2 were on PC. The games were initially on PC, and they were supposed to be used to launch the Mac even. So, it's not, obscene.
Inconceivable.
Yeah, Halo 2 was huge on the PC, and then when Halo 3 wasn't on it, everyone was, mad. Understandably so.
I think Halo Combat Evolved it just did launch on PC. It's just what was just happening then. There wasn't necessarily a reason for it. It was just, let's put it on the Windows platform as well. But I think Halo 2 primarily dropped on PC, I think more for reasons to kickstart the Xbox Live Gold for Vista. That was a massive thing that completely fell on its face.
Yep.
It would be unfortunate, though, if we had kind of this gap. We had Halo 1 and Halo 2 on PC, and then 3, 4, and 5 are missing, and then we start playing again with Halo 6. So I hope they eventually, like we spoke about before we started recording, I hope they eventually release the whole Master Chief Collection on PC. Hopefully.
I think they will, actually, now that we've talked about it a little bit more before the show. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they will as well.
Hopefully. But let's move on to the much talked about Battle Royale mode. I hope it happens. Hopefully. I think that'd be fun. I don't know how it's going to work, but, I'm never going to say no to an extra mode.
They've kind of already done it with Warzone to a degree. Just with AI, obviously. I think it'd be cool if they just expanded Warzone more to be 50 versus 50 or just 100 players. I think that would actually work really well. There is a rumor going on that Halo 6 is delayed and they're releasing just a Halo Battle Royale this year to tide us over. I don't know how I feel so much about that. I'd rather have Halo 6 have a Battle Royale. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if there's still both. If Halo 6 also had a Battle Royale, or they just kept this Battle Royale going. I don't know.
Yeah, if it's a separate experience, right? It's not tied to Halo 6 in any way, shape, or form. If it's just a Halo Universe Battle Royale, okay. I'd be cool with that.
Maybe.
And as long as, like you said, it's something that's just kind of, all right, well, here's your Battle Royale. We're going to support this for the next few years. And it's not going to interfere with 343's kind of production of the mainline Halo games. Cool, let's do it. I'd be keen for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be alright with that. I mean, as much as I'd be fine with it being in the Halo 6 package, there's already going to be enough content there. So
ideally.
I think as long as it ends up not being PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds with a Halo skin, then it'd be interesting. I'd like to see what they do, because Halo does have the capacity to have, that loot gameplay and also the vehicles. I know there's a lot of vehicles that you could draw from that, but I don't want it to just be derivative. I think the problem with a lot of these Battle Royales that are coming out is it's literally just PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds with this edition.
Oh yeah, I doubt Halo would be that. I think Halo would just be what we know it as now, just with 100 players, honestly. Which would be cool. It would be unique enough, I'd say.
I would like to see it go back to, scrap the Spartans, go back to ODSTs. ODST, so orbital drop shock troopers dropping out of space, landing on maps. They have to use health packs because they're not Spartans, they don't have overshields. So running around, using med packs, looting the map. I think it'd be sick.
That's genius.
I think it'd be really cool.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's in my mind, that's the only way it works. Because could you imagine
that fits
100
into the lore.
players? Could you imagine 100 Spartans running around a map with overshield playing cat and mouse? You'd be pinging people long range, and they'd take 4 hits and they'd be in cover. They regen, and then you'd never get through a game. Not with those distances. Not unless they all had snipers.
Well, it could happen. I mean, there's long distance kills in Halo with VRs and shit. But yeah, I get what you mean. The games would definitely be longer. It would add a different level of strategy, though, that the other Battle Royales don't have.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
That'd be very interesting.
Yeah, I think if anybody could do a Battle Royale and have it be kind of unique and interesting, it would be Halo.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Let's move on anyway. We've got a long list. The last 2 points on this list for development time is a longer campaign and a new game engine. So typically campaign lengths run 8 to 10 hours. Do you guys think we need a longer campaign, or are you content with what we already have? Or is kind of more always a good thing with Halo?
I think 5's campaign was long enough. I think 5's campaign was, 12 to 15 hours? It was long.
It was longer, yeah. What about Halo 4?
Halo 4's was short, but I think it was still good. I didn't have a problem with its length at all.
I don't think it really matters to me. As long as it can be short, sharp, and good, and it can be long and good, as long as it's good.
Yeah. Like Halo 3's is pretty long, and it's still great.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a reason for it to be, longer, I think, yeah, great, let's do it. I'm ready for an epic. Why not?
Yeah.
But, longer for the sake of longer because you have a longer development time, I don't know. But, I mean, this all could tie back to the fact that, we spoke before we started recording. We need to stop doing that. But we spoke before we started recording that, that we don't really think, or from what we've been told, Halo isn't necessarily just going to be one kind of reclaimer trilogy anymore. There could be more coming after Halo 6. Well, there is. There is more coming after Halo 6.
Yeah.
It's Microsoft's kind of bread and butter shooter. So, maybe they do need to tell a longer story this time to wrap up Halo 5, or maybe it's going to be a longer story to wrap up Halo, kind of this trilogy, and then start the next one.
Kill the Chief.
I don't know. Don't kill the Chief.
He's gonna die. I'm telling you, he's gonna die in 6.
He's not gonna die. No.
The whole
this is bullshit.
Yes, he is. I am telling you, this is logical.
I'm gonna bring up a point. Spoiler warning. Block your ears, Ben.
Oh god, hold on.
There is a point in Halo 4, right, where he is, I can't remember what she's called, maybe it's called the Librarian. She zaps him, right? He gets some kind of funky, something happens to him, right, which I believe kind of the conclusion was that it is accelerating his evolution. So I don't think the Chief's going to retire because he's getting old. I think if anything, he's going to become more durable and advanced.
I get what you mean. I have a feeling that, because remember Cortana was turned or activated or whatever by the Librarian as well. I think that she's going to become human. I think that because oh god, what was the theory? Remember she was talking about how they were, oh god, what were they doing? The Librarian was doing something like turning people human or something, or she could store AIs and turn them into life forms or something like that. That's what she would do. Remember, she could do stuff like that. I think that's what they're going to do to fix her rampancy and her going insane, is she's going to become human or something like that.
Yeah, I totally think they're going to
salvage
it.
There's something they could do. Oh god, I read this years ago and I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense, but I don't remember it very clearly. But essentially, the Librarian can do whatever her powers are, and because, remember, she said, she took some of Cortana, she took, a piece of her in 4.
We need to play those games again.
That's going to be used, I guarantee it. There's going to be something like that.
If you're listening, please correct us or give us the full details down below for what that exactly was.
No, I just want to throw something out there. Obviously, I haven't played it. I just kind of read the cliff notes on Wikipedia, but would there be any sort of an advantage to becoming human if, from what I read, it sounds like she was doing AI things, controlling things remotely, and all these AI were swearing to her, and would there really be a benefit to her to go human?
Yeah, not necessarily for her at the moment, but it could quite easily happen against her will. I think if
to save her.
I see.
Yeah, I don't know how much kind of these notes detailed, but she off the rails, son.
Yeah,
she going cray cray.
She is insane.
It does sound like, just from the little snippet that I read, it sounds like she basically is she's going absolutely nuts, and even Chief is trying to stop her.
Yeah, so basically what happens through Halo 4 is she suffers something called rampancy, and rampancy is something that specifically happens to AIs at the 7-year mark. Basically what it is that AIs basically, they don't switch off, they're always constantly learning, and they kind of wear out. They learn so much that they just kind of overload themselves, right? Deteriorate, they degrade over time. Cortana didn't escape that.
Yeah.
It started happening to her in Halo 4, and then at the end of the Halo 4, she kind of exits that story for a little while, and she returns in Halo 5 being appearingly kind of less corrupted from rampancy, but more just deranged.
It's like you talk to her and like you could just tell by the tone of her voice like something is off.
They took this corrupted, deranged AI and they said, let's put that on everyone's computers in Windows 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Essentially. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, that's actually kind of a very worrying point. That's actually
exactly
funny.
what happened.
That's exactly, yeah. But all right, so to kind of jump into our next set of bullet points, we're going to touch on, because we're already touching on it, story, speculation, and rumors.
This is the part where I take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, almost. Well, we'll try not to touch on kind of past, we'll touch on future. Or maybe. I'm not going to promise that. So spoiler warning. So obviously there was a lot of backlash with Halo 5 surrounding the lack of Master Chief, right? So essentially we had, I think, two to three missions as the Chief, and the rest of the game was Locke. Community was not happy. Locke is a bad character.
Yeah, he is.
And, you know, apparently we're getting more Chief. So hooray, that's the first kind of piece of speculation. I think Frank O'Connor all but confirmed it, saying, you know, we've learned from our mistakes. The next game is going to contain more Chief. Thank God. I'm assuming everybody else is happy about that, except Max, because he wants the Chief to die. Don't know why. But yeah, is everybody other than Max, being Ben, okay with this? Are you okay with the Chief? Yeah, you're okay with the Chief. You haven't even played him. Anyway, let's move on. Let's go back to Cortana's corruption. Right. Now, this is a fan theory. This is actually a fan theory. It's a pretty well-received fan theory as well. Have you guys heard of Halo Follower? He's one of the biggest kind of fan theorists and dude who speculates on Halo rumors going around on YouTube. But basically, he has a theory regarding Cortana's rampancy. So in Halo 2, obviously you guys know the Grave Mind doesn't capture, but Chief, like a typical dick, stands her up and leaves her on, was it High Charity?
Yeah.
High Charity.
There's more to it than that.
I'm trying to be vague, alright? I'm trying to be vague. I'm trying not to spoil it.
Fine.
So
Fine.
she gets left, right, and essentially the Grave Mind basically traps her and, I wouldn't say holds her hostage, but they get trapped in the same place together, okay? So she spends a prolonged period of time with this thing called the Grave Mind, and for those that don't know, the Grave Mind is the overlord of the Flood. If you don't know what the Flood are, you're in trouble. I'm not going to explain it any further.
Yeah.
So Cortana spends a long period of time with the Grave Mind between Halo 2 and Halo 3. Now, there's actually something called the Logic Plague that's in the extended universe that the Flood, or the Grave Mind specifically, uses to corrupt AIs. So one of the leading theories is that, considering Cortana spent so much time with him and what's happening in Halo 5, is that perhaps Cortana has actually been infected with the Logic Plague, but her kind of motives now are more in line with the Grave Minds.
There you go. This plays into the end of Halo 5, or like the legendary ending as well, where you hear Cortana laughing and they show a ring.
Yeah.
It's about damn time the rings came back, since, you know, it's called Halo.
It's Halo, right?
So I think that makes perfect sense because the Flood are associated with Halo, the Halo rings. But also, I think she's done with rampancy now. I think it would just be the Logic Plague. I think rampancy's over.
I think she's just evolved.
Yeah, I think so too. Which, again, I wish they explained, because they just kind of dropped everything that happened at the end of 4 and then just went on to whatever the hell 5 is. But yeah, I think that rampancy is gone now.
Yeah, so Halo 5 doesn't explain what's happening with Cortana, really, whatsoever, to the best of my knowledge. And yes, I was very vague with details leading up to that, because it would just take us hours to dig all the way through it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of interesting little breadcrumb bits of story that Cortana has through Halo 3 really does sound reminiscent of things that the Grave Mind would say, or he preaches. So that's kind of interesting. Like, she almost seemed kind of brainwashed back then, and then they kind of seemed to drop that story point as Halo 3 went on. But something has influenced her heavily.
Yeah.
And I think everybody assumed it was just her taking the mantle of the Forerunners and taking over from them, but, you know, is it going to be as simple as that? Because she seems fucking deranged.
Yeah, she does. She seems absolutely batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Now, this logic infection, just to jump in real quick, the logic infection, does it mean that it corrupts logic? Or that it enforces it in a weird way?
I think it's just called the Logic Plague because it corrupts AIs.
Because it seems like based on what I read, the very small snippet, it seems like what she's trying to do is, even though it's not necessarily a good thing, it does seem like a very logical thing if you look at it purely from the logic standpoint.
She's essentially trying to get rid of humanity and have AI reign supreme. So to her, that makes sense.
It almost kind of ventures into like Mass Effect sort of territory there.
Yeah. No, it makes sense from her standpoint, but the thing is, it's like, she was made by humans, and she doesn't hate humanity. Like, AI and humans work very closely together. She's just so deranged. And that plays into the Gravemind thing.
Right.
She could have multiple motives. Like, she could have honestly taken on the mantle and is now operating as kind of what the Forerunners would have wanted, right? Or sorry, humanity. It's all over the place, dude. It's just all over the place.
But humanity is supposed to be.
But she's taken it, right? Whether it be humanity or whatever. But it's interesting, like, it could be, she's still infected with the Logic Plague and she's still also taken on the mantle, so it could be she'd be having kind of ulterior motives as to whether she's just doing the mantle thing or doing the Gravemind thing. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they play it out, though. It could be a crock of shit. Maybe she's not infected with the Logic Plague either. But there's a lot of kind of evidence through the original trilogy to support that.
Yeah. And she's still, like, can think for herself in a weird way, because remember, spoiler alert, she protects Chief at the end of 5, and she still like rationalizes with him, and she even tries to get him to turn to her side.
It's because they're in love, Max.
Exactly, and that's why she's gonna be a human, so they could be in love.
Then we're gonna get one of those weird ass like Mass Effect love scenes or something.
Yeah, and they're gonna have kids.
So moving along, because we get a little bit sidetracked. I think the next big kind of speculative point surrounding Halo 6's story, I don't know if it necessarily impacts the story that much, it's just kind of an interesting thing that people are pointing out, is, do you guys remember the Halo 5 teaser trailer where the big Guardian winged thing comes out of the sand and Chief's holding Cortana's empty... It's sick, right?
Yeah.
And Chief's holding kind of Cortana's little chip that goes in his helmet, like it's just a blank chip, so he's clearly looking for her, or he's like kind of in anguish that he no longer has her.
Yeah.
However, that scene never appeared in Halo 5 at all, in any way, shape, or form. 5. Right? No. And here's the interesting link for me, is that his visor is cracked in that trailer. And we know at the end of Halo 5, Locke and Chief get into fisticuffs and he cracks his visor.
Yep.
So it's interesting that it would appear, maybe it's coincidence, but it looks like that trailer was actually something that was from a story point in Halo 6. Now, whether that was originally intended, or maybe they botched Halo 5 and that they kind of pulled a Halo 2 and cut the story short, I don't know. But that's an interesting point.
Yeah, I think that's 100% what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, honestly, I think that... I talked about this with my brother a little bit after Halo 5 came out, because I was still in defense of 343. I'm a lot more cynical now. But, I think that my logic was that 99% of the stuff, the podcast, all that pre-marketing stuff, is actually a lead into Halo 6 instead, because Halo 5's story was just so bland. Whether this was intentional or not, I don't know. Like you said, this is probably something that happened maybe late into development. Maybe they like cut it in half or something like that. But no, I think that that's totally what the case is. I think a lot of this is going to play out in Halo 6, which is interesting because it's like, I think that because you remember when Halo 2 came out, everyone hated the campaign. Everyone hated playing as Arbiter. I don't really mind playing as Arbiter. I think it's cool to play as someone else besides the Chief, as long as you're still playing majority as Chief. But I think that I do genuinely think we're going to look back and like 5 after 6 comes out.
Yeah, because it'll put kind of everything in perspective, right?
Yes, assuming the story is good. I think that we'll like 5. I think the same thing will happen.
But Halo 2 still had a good story, right?
It did have a better story, I agree.
Halo 2 was kind of frowned upon, not so much for the story. It was, I think, purely just for the Arbiter missions.
And that it was just ended.
5 was way more extreme. Like, the story was kind of a little bit bland. It wasn't handled well. And we only got, like, 2 missions as Chief.
Yeah.
Whereas, all these kind of hype campaign leading into it, it really positioned us to expect something different. That was the issue. So I don't know, maybe we will look back, once Halo 6 out and go, oh, Halo 5 really is important. It really does set up Halo 6, and I'm sure that will be the case. But, I mean, Halo 5 is still going to be an average game, I think, even if it is important.
In terms of story. I think the level design,
story execution
is great.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yes. Multiplayer is fantastic.
Fantastic.
That's another thing.
Yep.
But yeah, multiplayer is absolutely fantastic.
It is almost a complete package. It is just disappointing because up until this point, we've always been spoiled for Halo campaigns.
Well, again, and the marketing, I think, the marketing ruined it the most for me. I was expecting this to be the best campaign ever because of that marketing.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
There are people that wanted to sue because they said it was misleading and fake marketing. There are literally people that were investigating that.
Yeah, see, I don't buy into that. I don't
think it was intentional.
I think what they portrayed in that marketing still actually came to fruition, just in the tiniest possible scale. It was literally just a story thread rather than it being the focal point of that game, the story.
I think that there was supposed to be. Because, dude, you remember they had a giant poster up, or a giant, wall painting up, and then, 3 days later, it was of Chief and Locke. It was, the cover. And then 3 days later, they, painted over it saying, traitor and shit. They were doing so much like that.
Yeah.
And, the podcast was oh, Chief, he went rogue, and, there was all the investigating as to why he went rogue and everything. And then the game, started out before he went rogue, and then he did it. And it literally lasted for, 5 seconds. And the whole point of Locke is to just hunt him down and bring him back in, and that barely happens. That Locke doesn't even try to do that.
I think one of the issues though is the time scale, right? Whereas you have the video game where, what are you doing, Chief? You're going rogue. You can't do that. That happens, in the first is it the first act of the game or something?
The first
mission.
Missions. Because after the first mission is when he hears her.
Yeah, and then it doesn't seem like much time passes between him going rogue and then the conclusion of Halo 5. But when you listen and watch all this promotional material, it's like this big drawn-out saga that seems to been happening for months. What is Chief doing? What is going on? Whereas the game kind of brings the scale back to this kind of, it just happened,
Well, they never even lost communication with him or anything.
No.
In the marketing, it's oh, he's been gone for a long time. No one knows where he is and shit. That literally does not happen at all.
No, I agree. So in that sense, it's definitely misleading.
I would have been happy with the whole campaign, him being rogue, and you play as him, and in 6 they wrap that up. I would have been cool with that. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I was ready for that shit.
I think what you brought up earlier though is interesting regarding Halo 5's kind of hype material being relevant to Halo 6 though, whether or not that's intentional or not intentional. I don't know. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know because they don't really do those vid docs anymore that they used to do back in the day regarding the making of. And if it does get an extra year, then surely that is only going to benefit kind of the execution of the story as well.
Yeah, I think we should expect it to come out late next year, but I don't think we should be surprised if it comes out this year. I think they may announce it at E3 and just be oh yeah, it's coming out in December or something, because this fall is crazy. They shouldn't drop it this fall, to be completely honest with you. They should not. They could drop it in December, that'd be cool, or next year. But this fall is insane. And Halo does not have the namespace.
What if it's early next year?
That could work too. It just has always come out in the fall.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised. That would be cool if it came out next year, actually. Early next year. I would like that. But I doubt they would do that. That's always been a AAA fall game.
What if we get the beta, the multiplayer beta, which they're doing? That's going to happen.
When you pre-order Crackdown 3.
That game's not coming.
Yes, it is. It's coming out. I guarantee you, Crackdown 3, they'll be at E3, they'll be oh, by the way, Crackdown 3 is out. And if you buy it, you get access to the Halo 6 beta. Or if you get Game Pass, you have access to the Halo 6 beta. I guarantee. I will bet you money on this. I will bet you money.
I'm going to put... Okay. I'm not taking that bet because I think you're right.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm going to take a punt here, and I'm going to say that we get the beta over the Christmas period of December this year for the Halo 6 multiplayer, and the game drops in April next year.
That would be interesting. I'd like that.
That's my bet. That's what I'm plugging.
Okay, I don't entirely disagree.
But wouldn't that put it directly up against Anthem, though?
Yeah, but I think it can handle that. I think they're just very different games, that's all. And in comparison to what's coming out in December and the following December, I think it's still a pretty safe option. All right, guys, to wrap it up, just to really breeze over the last couple of points, and these kind of just really small bits and pieces. Return of split screen.
Woo.
Hooray. Yes. Thank God. It should never have not been in Halo 5. That's like a staple of the series.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're ditching the number in the title.
We'll
so
see.
Ew.
they're moving away from just numbers in general for Halo because it's kind of getting up there now. Halo 6, right?
I think they should keep 6 and then do that.
Yeah, I think wrap the trilogy up and then just go to just naming the Halo entries after that. I think that's a good idea.
I thought it was silly when they had 5 Guardians.
Yes.
Like, why wasn't it just 5?
Apparently, people are just speculating that they're just kind of phasing out because this was the first Halo, other than the original Combat Evolved, that actually had something else in the title other than a number. So people are speculating that this time it's Halo 5 Guardians, and then it'll just be Halo Reclaimer or something like that for Halo 6.
I think that'd be important to do because it'll also kind of get rid of the stigma around Halo right now, or it'll help to.
Yeah, I like it. I like the idea of just kind of branding the entry in the series with the story, like Guardians, Reclaimer. I like that.
I do think they should keep 6 and then do that, though. I don't think they should drop it with this title.
When you start getting your entries at that point where it's like Forza 7 or Halo 6, like they speculate that they're less likely to jump on board with the series because they've missed the first 6. Ben's not going to go out and buy Halo 6, you know?
To counter that point, though, at least I would know where to start.
Yes.
You know, if I say, oh, I'm going to go play Halo, well, which one?
It's easy.
Are you going to play Halo the new one, or are you going to play Halo the original one?
Yeah, but most people aren't going to do that. Most people are going to get overwhelmed by it. Yeah, the thing is, they'll have the Master Chief Collection, which is fantastic. And remember, Halo 6 is going to be on Game Pass,
Yeah.
which they are just pushing the shit out of. That's an entirely another discussion. So they might see higher numbers for that alone. It helped Halo 5. And now, literally, everyone who plays Halo 5's multiplayer is like, oh shit, this is fantastic. The only people who shit on it are people who have not played it.
It's good.
It's very good.
The kind of old school playlists I really enjoy. Like just classic big team battle, like 5v5 arena matches, like capture the flag, all that kind of stuff. I really enjoy that kind of tight, intimate kind of style of Halo. The kind of Warzone shit doesn't interest me though.
Oh, I love Warzone.
I just can't get into it.
I like Arena more though. Yeah, obviously Arena is the way to go, but I love Warzone too.
Anyway, let's wrap it up. Any final points, guys, regarding Halo 6? Do you want to make a bet as to when it's coming out? Should we put something on it? Ooh, free copy of Halo 6.
Ooh. Wait, to who?
To whoever wins. Whoever's closest.
No, I know, but like me and you? Or are you talking to the audience? Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
Screw that.
I mean, to be fair, it's coming out on Game Pass, so I don't think a free version or a free one is worth the bet. I want to bet something. I do want to bet something. I just don't think that should be it. The loser has to wait a week to play it.
Oh, all right. Yeah, we're doing that.
No,
I'll
fuck
take
that. That's trash. No, I don't actually want to do that. I had to wait.
I can live with that.
I had to wait
Yeah,
6
Ben can.
days to play Halo 5. Dude, Halo 5 came out, and it was the day I was leaving on a trip. So I got to play like an hour of it, and then I had to leave for like 6 days. That was terrible.
All right, we'll figure out what the stakes are later, but put your flag in the ground. When do you think we're going to get Halo 6? I'm going early April.
I do have faith in this year. I do have faith in it coming out this year. I'd be lying if I didn't think it was going to happen, even though I don't think it should happen.
You have to pick a month.
Okay, they need to do December if they do this year.
Ooh, that's a late Halo.
I know, but the thing is, this fall is insane. So November.
Yeah.
November. Because remember, Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming this year, dude.
Oh, yeah, get out of the way of that. That's going to
Yeah,
crush.
like this entire fall is going to kill. There are other things coming I can't think right now because I'm tired and I haven't had coffee yet, but there's this season is already insane as shit. There should not be another game coming out this fall. There should not be. But November.
Fair. All right, so we've got November, April. Ben, you buying into this?
You know, I'm gonna be the wild card here. I'm going to say July 2019.
Wow. All right. So nobody's going late next year.
And when it drops, I'm gonna be like, "You laughed at me."
What if... okay, hang on. So Ben might actually have the smartest bet here, right? Because everything's pointing towards it not releasing this year based on tradition and history.
Right.
Right? I've picked a early year, which never happens. And our bet is for who gets the closest. So he's gone July, so if it lands late next year, he automatically wins.
Yeah, he does. He's probably going to win.
Watch The Price is Right, son. This has done.
right, well, on that note, let's wrap it up. So be sure to leave all of your thoughts, comments, and opinions down below in the comments section. If we've fucked up the lore or misinformed people, please pull us up.
I think we did a good job.
I think we did okay. But you know what the Halo universe is like. There's a lot to cover. So please correct us down below if we've cocked it. But as always, thanks for watching. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next episode, being episode 25 of Pocket Edition next week. Have a good one, guys.